Getting an education in America can be costly. Many young people are encouraged to go to college, get their degree so they can have a high-paying job and live a good life, right? But what happens when the loans they took out to pay for college end up being more than their salaries can handle? It's an issue that's top of mind for young voter Maxianne Russo.
The loans were expecting me to pay were almost my entire paycheck.
Russo went to school to become an educator.
So right now I am a special education teacher. This year I am working with preschool students.
It's a specialized job that requires both bachelor and master's degrees, and even with scholarship money for academics and swimming, Russo found herself drowning in post-grad loan debt.
I have a lot of loans that I've taken out. Most are federal, but I do have private loans that I've also taken out from LIU Post.
Russo isn't alone.
I'm actually one of those millennials who want to stay here and actually love to call Suffolk County home.
Ken Patrick Johnson took out loans to get his degree back in 2007, a year before the 2008 crash.
And I think when you obtain a career, you can comfortably make payments to pay back the government for giving you that opportunity financially. And that wasn't the case with me and a lot of my peers.
For recent grad Travis Stewart, school on Long Island wasn't an option.
I was accepted to 2 private universities on Long Island and in New York that I was interested in going to, but I ultimately didn't attend those places because of the cost of attending them.
He opted to get his associates in Florida, transferring to a 4-year university to avoid high loans. Today, the national student loan debt totals about $1.6 trillion. According to the Federal Reserve of New York, here on Long Island, the average student loan balance was more than $32,000 in 2016. That's higher than both the state and national averages.
I can say more than half of my friends right now are simply not paying it back because they can't afford to. They're waiting for some type of program to either reduce it by half or a certain percentage, just to make it easier.
In September, Senator Chuck Schumer called for the president to issue an executive order canceling up to $50,000 in student loans in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Alan Collins is an advocate for canceling student loans. In fact, he wrote a book on it.
In 2004, for example, the average undergraduate was leaving college with something like $12,000 or $13,000 in loans. Not only are there no bankruptcy protections for both federal and private student loans, there are no statutes of limitations for federal loans.
Which can mean a lifelong commitment for some.
Well, all of us coming right out of college who don't have a career, how do they expect us to pay $100,000 in loans when we have nothing?
It's crippling debt. I mean, a lot of us are now starting our lives.
According to the Manhattan Institute, only 49% of millennials have an associate's degree or higher. But many high-earning positions like engineers and physicians all require at least a bachelor's degree to be considered.
It is so hard for people to raise to their potential or be who they want to be and do things that they want to do because they're so afraid of that financial burden.
Relief is currently available in the form of income-driven repayment plans, loan forgiveness programs, and federal financial aid programs. Still, the issue of high student loan balances remain. These young voters aren't opposed to paying, but they want to see a program put in place to help.
Because they basically say millennials are entitled, you guys are spoiled brats, pay off you have an obligation, you guys run from responsibility. That is so totally not the case. It simply comes down to how do we survive while doing that.
Jessie for Newsday.